Hi everyone. So today is going to be a recovery flow. This is going to be very gentle. We'll do maybe a little bit of movements in quadruped. It's going to be very easy, and then we'll always finish with like a really nice long cool down. It's going to be all about switching in that rest and digest system. It's going to be all about deep breaths, diaphragmatic breathing into the rib cage, and all of that. So you've got two options here. You can either come into a seated position to start with our breathing, or you can come into a lying down position. Personally, I prefer the lying down option, but it's completely up to you and whatever kind of feels more comfortable for you. In whatever pose you are in, I would just like you to place your hands onto your stomach or onto your rib cage. We're just going to close the eyes. We're going to focus on slow, deep breaths. So we're going to breathe in. Try and breathe into the hands and then breathe out. Relax. Breathing in. And then breathing out. Relax. Breathing in. And breathing out. Relax. Come for a few more out of this. We're just trying to focus on breathing in. That rib cage expands, we're breathing deep down into the lungs, and then when we breathe out, expelling all of that air. And again, for some of us, it can feel quite natural to breathe into our rib cage and down into our stomach. For others, it can feel quite new, and maybe you're a chest breather. Maybe when you breathe in, your chest rises and then goes down. But by placing the hands on the stomach and on the diaphragm, we can just start to connect in where we're trying to direct that breath. And then you're just going to take a rest there. If you're in that seated position, you just can come down to join us lying on our back. Or again, if lying on your back's not comfortable, then you can just do these in a quadruped or tabletop position. We're going to just think about gently rocking the pelvis and the hips forward and then rocking back. Breathing in, rocking the pelvis forward, creating a little bit of space in that lower back, and then rocking back, just gently tucking the tailbone under and connecting, pushing that lower back into the ground. A few more. And we're trying to connect with our breath here. So breathe in, soft tummy, pelvis rocks forward, breathe out. Breathe in, pelvis rocking forward, soft tummy, and then breathe out. Just gently pushing that lower back into the ground, tilting backwards with that pelvis. A few more. Last one. And what we're going to do next is come into a floor angel. So again, just trying to focus on the lower back, just gently being in contact with the ground. The hands are going to be out to the side as if we're in a kind of cactus or American football or rugby goalpost. And then we're just going to try and reach the hands up overhead. So we've been here sliding the hands down that floor. Breathe in. And then breathe out, pushing up. And again, we're trying to avoid arching through the lower back here. So I've got a slight bit of my core set on. It's a very gentle brace. One more, just breathing in, breathing out. And then what we're going to do is just roll over onto our right hand side. So again, you can just let the neck relax down to the ground. If you have a pillow, you can place that pillow in underneath if it's more comfortable for you. And what we're looking to do is have our legs out, bent at 90 degrees in front of us. Our hands are face down on top of each other like this, almost in an extended prayer pose. You can take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're sliding that left hand across the shoulders, across the other arm, and then coming out to the side. You can look out if you want to that thumb. Breathing in. Let's come back the way we came. Breathing out. Let's come across, reach out. Breathing in. Coming back in. And breathing out. Coming out across. 2 more. And breathing out. Just working with our breath on this. Breathing in. And breathing out. When we're here, we're just going to keep that arm out to the side. Look out towards our left thumb. And just relax here for a second or two. Taking that breath in. Breathing out, let's bring the feet back in towards the center and then drop the knees out towards the other side. Let the hands come out now towards the left. And again, we're in that prayer position. Extend it out towards the left-hand side. Your head is just resting on the ground. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's twist across. Breathing in and then breathing out. Let's twist across. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's twist. Last time. And then just reach and come into that side twist. So again, just looking out towards that right thumb. Taking one more breath here, let's breathe in. And then breathe out. Let's come back in towards the center. And just hug both the knees in towards your chest and just gently rock side to side. Just massaging out that lower back. You're going to roll over onto your side now. Let's push up. And then what we're going to do is come to stand at the end of our mat. So we're standing at the bottom of our mat. It's literally going to be the most active part of the whole 30 minutes. We're going to reach down towards our toes and get a nice big hamstring stretch. Again, you can just gently rock forward and back if you want. Maybe pushing the hip out towards one side and then out towards the other. Again, if you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, just coming up from that lying down position, just take your time coming into this forward fold. What we're going to do now, if you need to, you can place the toes pointing out to the side. We're going to come down into that deep squat. So it's almost like a cook squat. So again, we're always trying to keep our toes as pointing forward as possible. But for some of us, just whether it's our hip or our ankle mobility, it's going to be a little bit easier having those feet out to the side. In this position, I just want you to try and think about keeping the chest up. And then we're going to do the same again. Let's tuck the chin, push back and up. You can rock side to side if you want. And then let's come back down into that deep squat. Just bring the hands together inside the chest. Push the triceps in towards the inside of the thighs and the knees. And let's lift up. We're trying to engage those muscles in the back of our shoulders. We're trying to think about opening up the hips.
Let's tuck the chin, push the hips back up again. And relax the head down, just wobble it side to side. Just relaxing out the neck. We're going to come back and down. Again, you can come back into that deep squat with a prayer pose, or if you want, you can add in a little bit of rotation here. So I'm bringing my right hand down to the ground and I'm reaching that left hand up. And I'm just trying to breathe into my lower back, just relaxing it. My elbow is going to come down in and I'm going to reach up towards the ceiling. I'm going to bring that arm down one more on each side and reach, twist. And then again, left hand down, right hand up. And then what I'm going to do is just walk those hands out. So I'm lifting my heels up and I'm just walking forward into a quadruped position. You can go for just some very gentle cat cows, so not the segmented ones, but just breathing in, tip the tailbone up, chin up, and then breathe out, round. Breathing in, and breathing out. And now what we're going to do, if you need to have that pillow in underneath your hands, kind of, or your elbows to elevate you up, a block or a bolster, you're just going to step that left leg forward, and then you can drop the elbows down if that's comfortable for you into that lizard pose. So again, for some of us, it may be more comfortable to stay upright. You might need another pillow to bring the elbows down, or a block, whichever you have. You can let the head relax down, or if you want, you can even just support your head by having your thumbs just above the bridge of your nose. Trying to focus on that breathing, so slow, steady breaths. Let's go for one more breath here. Breathing out, we're going to bring the hands back to the mat. Let's shift our weight back. Now there's two options here. Again, just bringing that pillow onto the back of this heel, and we're going to lean down and then come into a forward fold. If it's not comfortable to be kind of in a kneeling position on this side, you can be sitting on the pillow and have that leg out to the side. So again, I'm just going to come back into the first pose. So it's as if I push those hips back. But that pillow is there just to keep my heel and my glute comfortable, and then I'm just trying to drop the head forward. So I'm into a nice hamstring and calf stretch here, just letting the head drop down. My hands are on either side for a little bit of support. And I'm just rounding my back, rounding my chin, let everything just relax in that back line. Again, if you're hypermobile, which some of us are, you might just want to have a little bit of a bend in that knee, just so you're not feeling like the back of the knee is just dropping down towards the mat. You're trying to feel that stretch into the calf and the hamstring. And we're just going to change over onto the other leg. So we're shifting our weight forward again, bringing that pillow with us and coming back into that lizard pose. So dropping the elbows down, if we can. Trying to keep the hips square to the mat. And again, if it's more comfortable, we can be up into that hand supported position if that's better for our hips. Otherwise, we're just dropping down, just trying to relax here. Again, focusing on that breathing. So maybe you're breathing in for 3 and breathing out for 5. Breathing in for 3. And maybe try and breathe out for 5 now through your mouth. Letting your jaw go relaxed, loose, just making sure you're not clenching your jaw or scrunching your eyes. One more breath here, breathing in Breathing out, we're going to bring the hands back onto the mat or onto the pillow, pushing up, and then we're going to sink back into that hamstring stretch. So again, you can come into the seated position with this knee out to the side if that's more comfortable, otherwise pointing those right toes up towards the ceiling and dropping the head down. And again, if we're hypermobile, just very slight bend in that right knee to make sure that we're hitting the hamstring and the calf. Just making sure we're not holding the tension in our jaw, keeping our head nice and relaxed. Inhale and exhale, we're just going to slowly come out of that and come forward. You can just move the pillow out from underneath your hips. What we're going to do, have it nearby because we will be using it later on, but you're just going to push back into a child's pose. So just let the head relax into the ground. If you want, you can stretch those hands out in front, or you can bring the hands down either side. Whichever pose you're in, you're just breathing into that lower back, relaxing. Focusing on those slow, steady breaths. We're going to walk the hands forward. And then slowly coming out of that. What we are going to do is going to thread the needle. So I'm going to get you to lift that left hand up towards the ceiling, reach. And then bring that left hand in underneath that right. Bring the left shoulder down to the mat, looking out towards the right hand side. You can keep this right hand down by your face, or if you want to walk that right hand overhead, if that's more comfortable, you can do that. Again, if you need to have a pillow underneath this left shoulder for a bit more support, please do. And we're just going to breathe here. We're going to bring that right hand down. Let's come up out of that. Hands onto the mat again. You're going to reach that right hand up towards the ceiling. Rotate through the thoracic spine, and then bring that right hand in underneath the left, looking out towards the left hand side. And again, hand can be out by the face, or then you're walking that left hand up overhead, whichever feels more comfortable. Try and focus on slowing your breath down. Maybe you're trying to breathe in for 4 now. And then out for 6. Breathing in for 4. And then out for 6. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Just going to bring that hand back down to the mat. Coming up out of that, we're going to walk the hands back up. And what we're going to do now is come into a pigeon pose. So have that pillow to support your hip. You might even want another pillow out in front. We're just going to push back very gently into a down dog and then bring that left hip down towards the mat. So I'm bringing my left knee towards my left hand, supporting my left hip with that pillow. And then if it's comfortable, you're just dropping that forehead down. Again, if anyone's feeling any pressure through this knee, just bring that left hip closer towards your right hip. And that'll be a bit more relaxed. So again, if you have a bolster or maybe another pillow, you can place your elbows up on top of that. So you're a little bit more supported, but just relax the shoulders, relax the neck here. So just trying to melt down into the mat. Trying to keep the hips square if possible. So we're trying to keep that left hip in line with our right. We're not letting the right hip twist up towards the ceiling. Just notice if you're feeling tension, maybe around the eyes, maybe in the cheeks, the jaw. Again, notice if you're just holding that tension through the shoulders. Maybe in the lower back, the upper back. And then we should feel a deep stretch in that left hip, but we're just trying to breathe deep down into it. Trying to breathe in for 4 and then out for 6. One more breath in, breathe in. Breathing in, let's bring those hands back to the mat, push the chest up. We're going to push back into that down dog or maybe even into that puppy pose. Bring the pillow over towards the other side. And then let's bring that right knee up towards the right wrist. Bring the right hip on top of that pillow. And again, if it's comfortable, you're trying to get that shin bone parallel with the mat. But again, it's just whatever's comfortable for you really in this pose. And again, if you have that bolster or extra pillow, you can bring that in front to support your elbows. Just trying to relax into it as deep as you can. It's going to be different for different people and different for different sides. So for me, my right side is a lot tighter than my left, so I just can't go quite as deep into this side of the pose, and that's totally fine. And just closing the eyes, let's again start at the top of the head, and we're just going to work our way down. So just notice if your forehead's tight, you're holding tension around the eyes. Just try and let that go. Notice again if you've just clenched your teeth in between, maybe your cheeks are holding tension, there's tension in your jaw. Relaxing the shoulders, so try not to hold yourself up, we're just trying to melt. Relaxing any tension in between the shoulder blades, into the lower back, and then of course into that right hip, it's going to feel tight. Where we're trying to focus that stretch. few more breaths, breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 6. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 6. And then just taking a few breaths in your own time. On that next exhale, you're just going to push yourselves back up. And then what we're going to do is just, you can either come to lie in Savasana, so you're lying on your back, or you can come down again into that child's pose with your hand on the side. Just whatever feels more relaxing for you and allows you to switch off. And we're just going to not focus on any breathing too much, but just trying to let our body relax, just melt into the ground. Just feel that we're supported by the ground. Just going to start bringing our awareness now back to our hands and our toes, maybe giving them a wiggle. Maybe rolling your shoulders if you're in that child's pose, or maybe just gently rocking your head side to side if you're in the Savasana pose. We're going to roll over onto our side if we are in Savasana, or if we're in the child's pose, let's push up out of that into a kneeling position. And then we're done. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you are nice and relaxed. I know I certainly am. Thanks so much for doing this class. Again, feel free to do as much as you need to during the week to switch off for that short 30 seconds.